Thank you very much. Before I begin, I'd like to begin by acknowledging that I'm here in Ottawa on the traditional territory of the Algonquin and Anishinaabe people. And right now, 1,052 wildfires are burning, with 791 fires designated as out of control. Now, there have been 6,174 wildfires nationally this year, and approximately 16.5 million hectares of our beautiful country that has already burned. And in my home province of British Columbia and in the Northwest Territories, the last few weeks have been extremely difficult for Canadians. Community members have been forced to flee their homes for safety, not knowing if their homes will still be there when they return. Thankfully, in Yellowknife, thousands of people are beginning to return home after 3 long weeks. And to those affected, please know that we stand with you. We continue to mobilize resources across the country, and we will be there through the recovery and into the rebuild. I also like to speak directly to the firefighters, Canadian Armed Forces members, and our emergency management personnel on the front lines of this climate crisis, protecting communities across our country. I want to thank you for your service. And I also want to take a moment here to thank all the international firefighters who came to assist our effort. Canadians to assist our efforts from many different countries. We all know that Canadians deserve leaders who aren't afraid to face climate change in our country. These wildfires have filled our air with smoke and turned our skies red. And this is a reality, and it is happening now. Canadians can't afford to look away, but Pierre Poilievre can, because he wants to fan the flames of division instead, distract with rhetoric and dog whistle language. Because the leader of the Conservative Party has no plan to fight climate change. It is as simple as that. But the climate crisis is here, and it is at our doorstep, and I've met the Canadians who are having to deal with this, and it's our home that are at risk. And literally, we will not look away from our communities when these type of disasters strike. We will be there to assist them. And we will not stop taking action to address the major challenges that climate change poses to our countries that require national solutions. Because we know how important it is to have the right resources when and where they are needed. We have some of the best wildfire fighting capabilities in the world right here in Canada. But the increased severity and unpredictability of wildfires due to climate change requires us to bolster bolster our preparedness even further. And that's why today's announcement from Minister Wilkinson is so important, especially in the midst of Canada's worst wildfires season on record. On August 25th, I approved a request for assistance from the Government of British Columbia to provide additional firefighting resources. Now, this is on top of the federal support already provided through the August 19 request. In addition, on August 12th, I approved a request for federal assistance from the Government of Northwest Territories. Multiple government departments are coordinating to provide assistance with both frontline and recovery efforts. Fisheries and Oceans Canada, along with the Canadian Coast Guard, have provided personnel trained in the Incident Command System to both British Columbia and the Northwest Territories. The RCMP are actively patrolling communities and supporting evacuations in British Columbia, and of course the Canadian Armed Forces have deployed on numerous occasions. And in British Columbia, immediately following the request for assistance, the Canadian Armed Forces sent a reconnaissance team to Kelowna to work with and provide advice to Emergency Management BC. The Vernon Cadet Training Center was made available immediately to provincial authorities, and approximately 175 CAF personnel are deployed right now in British Columbia to support firefighting efforts in the Vanderhoof, Mackenzie's areas. And also in the Northwest Territories, at its peak, the Canadian Armed Forces assistance included 350 deployed members, as well as air support and also local ranger support. The Air Task Force assisted with evacuation of approximately 430 people and personnel, and the Land Task Force assisted with firefighting in and around Yellowknife and also in Hay River. Now, the military was also crucial in supporting the territorial officials with planning and coordination of this unprecedented evacuation. And as always, Public Safety Canada, the Government Operations Centre, on behalf of Government of Canada, is leading the overall federal response coordination across the country. So we are leaving no stone unturned, taking a whole of government approach to making sure that all necessary resources are made available. And that's exactly what is taking place now. So while there are some positive signs of the major wildfires being held, hot and dry conditions continue to pose a risk in many areas. Even once the fires are considered contained, dealing with their aftermath is no easy task. So I want to underscore that when the wildfires stop burning, we will be there to support all Canadians during the rebuild as well. Thank you, and I will turn it over to Minister Hajdu.